So far, officials have not confirmed who's responsible for this crime, but say that they have a good idea of who it might be. And now it's up to each individual senator to introduce their priority bill. Senator Kent Rogert of Takema says his priority deals with Nebraska's helmet law. Another part of President Bush's speech today was asking current illegal immigrants to do their part by paying a fine and repaying their debt to society, then getting in the back of the line and coming into the U.S. legally. Comedians from all across the country, from New York to L.A., are here in Norfolk, Nebraska in honor of Johnny Carson in hopes of becoming Norfolk's funniest comedian. Let's take you inside the finals competition. Next, we're going to be doing rappelling, something I've never done before, so I'm a little nervous about it, but thankfully we've got some instruction going on behind us to tell us exactly what to do. This is the type of skill that is needed to be in the Nebraska National Guard. Welcome to Skyview Lake, the site of Big Bang Boom, and on Saturday night, thousands of people will be here watching the largest fireworks show in the area from the other side of the lake. But today, we're going to show you a different angle of Big Bang Boom. We're taking you inside the restricted area to show you what it takes to put this event together. It all starts with official training. Here at the Norfolk Country Club, the site of the girls' Class A state golf tournament, the course seems to have weathered last night's rains very well, has absorbed it very well. But as the girls teed off this morning, they were looking at temperatures into the 30s with the wind chills, and that will be the contentious item throughout the course of the next 2 days. Not only will this new facility serve the operations of the Norfolk office, but also includes an educational aspect.
5 o'clock Friday afternoon, members of the Nebraska State Patrol and its SWAT team arrived at a vacant house in Oakdale, Nebraska, just southeast of Neely, where they believed that Stephen Michael Sharples was holed up. Around 7 o'clock, the SWAT team entered the house and found him inside. 15 minutes later, after Sharples had surrendered without incident, the escapee was brought out in handcuffs and immediately put into a State Patrol cruiser and was taken out of the area. Officials at the scene tell us that they were taking Sharples to the Madison County Jail for questioning and to house him there. It's believed that Sharples was in the home around 24 hours before law enforcement arrived. Stephen Sharples escaped the Antelope County Jail on Tuesday afternoon after he jumped over the fence of the jail yard during an exercise period and ran down an alleyway. He left very few clues behind him as to where he went. On Wednesday, a window was found broken out of the country club in Neely, and a golf cart was taken but didn't get far. There was no confirmation that Sharples was responsible for that. And on Thursday, some pieces of property were found in Stanton County, which led law enforcement to believe that he had been on a farm northwest of Stanton sometime after the escape. And tonight, in Oakdale, with the efforts of the Nebraska State Patrol and the Antelope County Sheriff's Office, Stephen Michael Sharples is now in custody, more than 72 hours on the run. In Oakdale, Nebraska, for US 92, Brian Masters, KTIV.
Good evening, everyone. A Norfolk, Nebraska manufacturing company abruptly closed its doors today, costing 65 people their jobs.
News Channel 4 US 92's Brian Masters joins us now from our Norfolk News Bureau with more details of the closure at Norfolk's Protein Incorporated.
Well, Matt and Christy, corporate leaders with Protein made the announcement to the employees of the plant this morning, telling them that the plant in South Norfolk would be closing immediately. The company is headquartered in St. Paul, Minnesota, and specializes in dairy products, where they process whey for protein products like sports drinks, nutritional bars, and infant formulas. Protein bought the operation from Leprino Foods back in 2003. In 2004, they were awarded economic development dollars to add 20 new jobs, and earlier this year, the plant underwent an expansion project. Now, it's hard to speculate at this point why the plant closed. Economic development officials say earlier this year, company leaders made mention of an overseas project and were in fact stockpiling product. However, it's hard to say if that had anything to do with today's announcement. At this point, company officials are evaluating its strategic opportunities when it comes to their Norfolk facility, which includes the sale of property to a party interested in its capabilities as a manufacturing site.
So, Brian, this obviously can't be very good news for Norfolk's economy right now.
Well, that's true, and I spoke with local leaders about that today, and although it will hurt the Norfolk economy a little, they say the impact should be very minimal. Remembering back to February of 2006 when the Tyson food plants closed in Norfolk, leaving 1,300 jobs behind, this closure should be a little easier to rebound from.
All right, thanks. That's Brian Masters on our Norfolk News Bureau tonight.
At 10 a.m. Wednesday, all 49 of Nebraska's senators gathered in the legislative chamber as flags were brought in and opening comments were made. The session is going to be short, and we'll see a large number of important issues come to the forefront. Included are paying for Nebraska's roads, the death penalty, funding for K-12 education, the state's record cash reserve, and others. Speaker of the legislature Mike Flood of Norfolk says it's his responsibility to make sure the legislative session runs efficiently. That's why they will begin accepting priority bill designations on Thursday and could be discussing them as early as Monday of next week.
And that's quite a change from years in the past where that hasn't started traditionally until about the 20th or sometimes 30th day. So this will give us an opportunity to get a jump start on the work the senators want to prioritize and find important.
And now it's up to each individual senator to introduce their priority bill. Senator Kent Rogert of Takema says his priority deals with Nebraska's helmet law.
If you're under 21, you'd have to wear one regardless. If you're over the age of 21 now, you wouldn't, and in the future you would have to take a class to show your knowledge of riding a motorcycle, and then you could not wear one if you chose not to.
Senator Cap Dirks of Ewing says with this short session he feels behind already. The constituents from his district are looking for some changes in the state's property taxes.
It's a big issue. It's becoming so burdensome that we've just got to find some way to take some heat off of it.
A Tilden, Nebraska couple is getting acquainted with life as parents of not 1 or 2 or 3, but 4 new babies.
Lots of babies. Back on January 8th, Lucas and Sabrina Negus welcomed 4 little boys following a rare pregnancy. While they have lots of family and friends around to help, their routine is anything but normal. KTIV US 92's Brian Masters introduces us to the family.
The Negus' pregnancy and how the babies developed in the womb is an amazing story itself. In a typical quadruplet pregnancy, there are 4 eggs, 1 for each baby. Sabrina's pregnancy was different.
But this is 2 eggs, 4 babies, so that's what made it a little more unique. It's pretty rare to get spontaneous triplets.
The triplet boys, Porter, Logan, and Mason, developed together, while the 4th, Connor, developed separately. It's one of only 100 such cases in the entire U.S. The couple thought they were having twins. However, one ultrasound showed 3 babies, while another showed 4.
At that point, I just started laughing, and Lucas about freaked out.
From there, it became a high-risk pregnancy. Sabrina spent 11 weeks on bed rest in the hospital. She made it to 31.5 weeks when doctors said it was time to deliver for the sake of the baby's health. There were 33 members of medical staff in 2 operating rooms. Each baby had 2 doctors and a team of 3 or 4 staff members. About 9 weeks later, all the babies were home. In Tilden, the to-do list at the Negus home was shifted to a total focus on the new additions.
Basically, you finish the nursery, you get everything clean and sanitized, and you hope for the best.
Thanks to the help of family members and friends, there is 4 of everything in the house, and the routine is anything but normal.
Other than eat time and sleep at nighttime, everything else is up in the air.
Going through about 2 dozen diapers per day, having multiple feedings, and keeping 4 babies entertained, they're thankful to have lots of family support at home. And thankfully, the boys are now sleeping about 5 hours a night. When it comes to outings, the family has only been outside of the house for 2 events outside of doctor's visits.
Usually by the time we get them all packed up and loaded, it's about time just to turn around and come back home.
Lucas and Sabrina say out of this whole journey so far, there is one thing that has left them surprised.
How fast they've grown.
How fast they grow. Everybody with kids always says they grow fast and to enjoy it. And man,
Well, we're incredibly blessed. I mean, there's not a thing wrong with these guys. I mean, they are absolutely healthy. And you could not ask for more than that.
Near Tilden, Nebraska for US 92, Brian Masters, KTIV News 4. And I'm ready to become a member of the Nebraska National Guard for a day. We're here at the field maintenance shop just south of town, and there are hundreds of high school students here from all over northeast Nebraska. But before we get into all the day's activities, first let's find out why they do this type of event.
We try to do this about once or twice a year to let people that are old enough to come and enlist get kind of a feel for some of the more adventure type stuff we do.
Our first stop was the marksmanship training area. I was given a special simulated M16 rifle that shoots lasers at a target about 20 yards away. We then headed to the 30-foot fiberglass rock climbing wall, where I found that my climbing skills needed some tweaking. Sergeant Dan handily beat me to the top. Next, we're going to be doing rappelling, something I've never done before, so I'm a little nervous about it, but thankfully we've got some instruction going on behind us to tell us exactly what to do. This is the type of skill that is needed to be in the Nebraska National Guard.
I think it was awesome. You're natural. It's not easy for anybody to tie themselves on a rope and jump off a 30-foot ledge. It's a little bit nerve-wracking at first, but you did outstanding.
Next, we hopped in one of the National Guard's Humvees and headed to a nearby sand pit. They even trusted me behind the wheel as we made our way over and through a number of sand dunes. It gave us a real feel of some of the driving they do in the deserts of Iraq. To top off our day, we closely inspected a number of the National Guard's vehicles, including a fire truck and a Black Hawk helicopter. And the students aren't the only ones that see the benefit of the day. Sergeant Van Kierboek says they also get a good feel for what the students' goals are. In Norfolk, Nebraska for US 92, along with photographer Matt Meyer, Brian Masters, KTIV News Channel 4.
Comedians from all across the country, from New York to LA, are here in Norfolk, Nebraska in honor of Johnny Carson, in hopes of becoming Norfolk's funniest comedian. Let's take you inside the finals competition.
As you walk inside the lobby of the Johnny Carson Theater, you find a display from Reader's Digest. The magazine company set up an old-time phone booth where people could pick up the working phone and record their own joke. Then it's showtime. The host for the evening was Eddie Brill, a talent coordinator for The Late Show with David Letterman. He also serves as the festival's producer.
There's nothing like this going on in America. There's other comedy festivals, but they don't. I think this is very different, and it's the beginning of something really huge. We have big dreams and big ideas for what we're going to do. This is only the beginning.
Following Brill's performance, it was time for the best of the best to compete. 8 comedian finalists each took their turn on stage, hoping to become the first Great American Comedy Festival winner. But in order to do that, they need to impress the judges, which included Nebraska native Dick Cavett and actor-comedian Robert Klein. In the end, it was Deacon Gray of Denver, Colorado, who won the title, a trophy, and $5,000.
It's such an unbelievable honor, and it's just, I'm so touched by it. Have it to be at the Johnny Carson Theater and honoring Johnny Carson, that's just amazing to me. It's like a dream come true.
Saturday night's Gala Festival Showcase will be hosted and headlined by Robert Klein, along with a list of other comedians, including the top 4 winners of the comedy competition. Dick Cavett will also be receiving the Comedy Legend Award. In Norfolk, Nebraska for US 92, Brian Masters, KTIV News Channel 4.